Thomas ran over to his dad and hugged him like he had never before. "Dad, where have you been?" "Sorry, little man. I know I shouldn't have left the way I did. It was sudden and out of nowhere. Your mom was keeping me updated with everything you were doing. I was there even though I wasn't," said his dad as a tear rolled down his face. "What is this place, Dad? It's huge. I've never seen an apartment like this. It has armed guards and everything," said Thomas. "It's your new home for a little bit. My job has apartments they let workers use while overseas," his dad replied. "Your job? I thought it was Mom's job," Thomas questioned. "Well, it's both our jobs, kind of. Either way, little man, welcome to Brazil," his dad replied. Thomas and his parents toured the apartment, looking at all the beautiful bedrooms, the gigantic kitchen, and ultimately the view of the park. As they stood there talking about it all, Thomas's dad stopped and looked down at him. "It's your birthday soon, isn't it, little man?" "Yes, it is," Thomas replied. "It's kind of a big birthday. 15 years old," said his dad. "Yeah, I know. Kind of crazy, isn't it?" Thomas replied. His dad looked down at Thomas and back to the view. "You know, Thomas, life always throws us curveballs. One day you're one thing, and the next, we can be something completely different. The key to life is to be able to adjust, adapt to the changes. Pretty soon, you'll be going through changes." "Are we talking about what I think you're talking about? Because I really don't want to have this talk right here, right now," said Thomas. No, Thomas, not that. I mean, yes, that, but also not that. Our family is different, little man. We have some gifts that very few people on Earth have, and on your birthday, I will tell you all about them. Okay?" said his dad. Thomas stood there in silence, staring out amongst the trees. As he stood there, he slowly reached into his pocket and felt his dad's letter. "Is it out of this world?" Thomas asked. "Where did you hear that?" Thomas's dad asked. "I wrote that in a..." Thomas slowly took the envelope out of his pocket. "Letter?" Thomas jumped in. "That was in my trunk. And my box?" said his dad. "I was in your basement, and I found a key in your lamp. I know I shouldn't have, but Danny and Colton made me open the trunk," Thomas said. "Made you?" His dad laughed as he shook his head. "Made you?" "Thank you for the card, Dad, but I don't know what it means. What does out of this world mean?" he asked. "We were going to have a little party before your birthday, and afterwards I was going to sit you down and get you prepared," his dad replied. "Prepared for what?" he asked. "Well, your birthday's in a few weeks. I might as well tell you now," he replied. "I've been waiting for this moment for a very long time. I have ran this over and over in my head, trying to figure out what's the best way to explain what is about to happen to you. I wasn't ready to do it today, but here it goes." Thomas's dad grabbed him by the hand and took him inside to the library on the other side of the living room. He motioned to Miss Moore to stay behind as he closed the glass door. "Take a seat, little man. What I am about to tell you is the truth, the absolute truth. I know it will sound weird, and it might take you some time to come to grips with it, but, little man, it is the truth," said his dad. "What is it?" Thomas asked. "What is out of this world?" "We are a special family, Thomas. We have gifts no one else on Earth has. It's something we were given, a gift to help and protect. And not just you and me, but all of our ancestors. We were all given this gift. You see, Earth and life isn't all that it seems. Yes, this is our reality. All of this is. But how we came to be and where we are now is unknown to mankind. Some people believe the human race is a product of evolution, that we evolved from microscopic cells into humans over millions and millions of years. Some people believe we were created by a divine being who created man in his image. What if I told you that both of those are correct? Both. How can we evolve and be created at the same time? Thomas asked with a speculative look on his face. Thousands and thousands of years ago, ape-like creatures roamed the earth, Thomas's dad said. Ape-like creatures? What do you mean? Asked Thomas. Creatures that look very similar to modern-day apes, gorillas, monkeys. They roamed the earth. Then extraterrestrials came to earth. Extraterrestrials? Do you mean aliens? Said Thomas. Yes, Thomas, aliens. They came to Earth and manipulated the DNA of these creatures. Then they watched over thousands and thousands of years as we evolved into who we are today, said his dad. Thomas stood there in silence as his dad explained it all. I know this sounds crazy, but it is true, said his dad. If this is the truth, how do you know all this, Dad? Why you? He asked. Well, my dad told me before my 15th birthday, and his dad told him before his. This story goes back many years in our family, Thomas, and now I'm telling you. Remember, we are a special family, he said. What do you mean special? Asked Thomas. Remember, Thomas, it's not all as it seems. The human race had an advanced civilization thousands of years ago, cities the size of ours, advanced technologies, huge ancient structures, millions and millions of people. Then one day, poof, gone, said his dad. Cities the size of ours, huge structures? I'm pretty sure we would still see these today, Dad. Where are all these things? Asked Thomas. Oh, parts of them are still here. When we are done, I want you to go search Machu Picchu, the pyramids of Egypt, Göbekli Tepe. You will see that ancient man was more advanced than modern scientists give them credit for. And that, my son, is where we come in, said his dad. How? Asked Thomas. Well, around 12,000 years ago, a meteor hit Earth and destroyed almost all life on it. When the extraterrestrials came back to check on their experiment, they saw that everything they created was gone, except for a handful of humans that happened to survive the impact. They chose 3 people to be the keepers of the Earth, 3 people to ensure that this didn't happen again. They gave them the gift. And Thomas, we are one of those people. We are descendants of those ancient people. The gift continues with us. Thomas stood there in silence for what he thought was an eternity as he tried to process everything his father just told him. And that is why we are here, Thomas. Thomas's dad walked up to him, kneeled down, looking him eye to eye. And that's why we are here. For my entire life, being a keeper was an honor. For 40 years, I had never had to use my gift until recently. Our time has come to put our gift to use. I don't know exactly yet what is about to happen, but something is coming. And when the time comes, it will be you. You will be the one who will be needed, not me. My time is almost over, said his dad. I don't understand, Thomas replied. On your 15th birthday, you will receive the gift, and mine will be taken away. It was the same thing that happened when I turned 15. The gift will go to you. I will become a mortal human, while you become a keeper, said his dad. I'm confused, Dad, said Thomas as he looked into his dad's eyes while his hands trembled on the armrest. That's totally okay, little man. I was confused too. But when I was 15, I had to go through this with only your grandpa. I didn't have anyone else to talk to. That's why when I was told that something was about to happen, I felt we needed to find the other keepers, and I found one. The family lives here in Brazil. That's why we are here, explained his father. You will not be alone. I will be here, and she will be here. She? Thomas asked. Yes, her name is Camilla. She just turned 15, and so she already changed. She can help, be there with you. And when time comes to act, you two will be together. Thomas's dad stood up and reached out his hand. Let's get out of here and take a walk in the park. It's been a long day. You have just been through a lot in a very short time. The family gathered their things and walked into the elevator. As the door closed, his dad looked down at Thomas and smiled. And let's not forget, you start school in a couple days.